he and I shared a love of cooking, and he would always give me his cast-off magazines, and he was very particular about his ingredients and just loved and cooked for himself.
It was great to get to know Tim while he was down here. It was a great pleasure. We shared a lot of laughs over Monty Python and some of the other older British humor.
So he's always, to me, has been the funny, outgoing. He had the best stories, always making jokes, had the best jokes. He wasn't always in the middle of the party, but he was always kind of in the background cracking jokes about everybody.
Interesting thing with, the thing with me and Tim always was that, we had the theater thing early on. And as soon as we both figured that out, our friendship, was instantly connected.
So I always knew Tim as the goofy uncle. He always made me laugh. He was never too serious.
I first met Uncle Tim, and I just immediately thought, where has this guy been?
Tim just added so much life to our time with all his jokes and his wry sense of humor.
That he developed an individual, close relationship with every one of us and taught us not to take ourselves so seriously.
My Uncle Tim. My earliest memories of Tim were probably in the 1960s. In came Tim for a holiday of some sort with a woman, and then we got to know her, this your Uncle Tim and his wife, blank. And then a year later, in came Tim with yet another woman. So Tim to me as a child was very mysterious. And I remember my father saying, Tim, he's had so many wives I can't even keep track of them. So I always thought of Tim as like this exotic guy, but fun.
Tim, man, I remember he was a great cook. That's definitely one thing I remember about him.
Uncle Tim, I always knew him as cutting the turkey. He was always the man until at the very end he started to get a little slippy with the knife.
That he's gone. A lot of people are saying to me, okay, you are the reincarnate, and I guess the torch is yours now. The theatrical torch is yours now, and as much as that is a heavy load to bear, I'm gonna bear it.
I learned a lot from Uncle Tim. I admire a lot about him. He was very detail-oriented, organized.
He was full of bits of information of everything. He could have a conversation about any kind of topic.
Close family here, Patty, Trevor, and I really feel blessed to have experienced the joy, really, that was Tim.
Hi, I'm Larry, and I'd just like to say a few words about Uncle Tim. My thoughts of him are pure love. He always had a smile. He always had a joke. And that's what I loved about Uncle Tim.
I will be forever grateful for his presence and for all the love that he gave to us.
Hyder and I were both very sad that Tim could not make our wedding, but we were both very happy that Uncle Tim got to meet Hyder.
And the other thing I remember about Tim is when he moved down here, and he said that he was so happy to be with us because he moved down here and fell into a bucket of love.
Memories of Tim coming over and saying, I'll carve the turkey Thanksgiving. And he showed up with a knife, a bag of knives, and a knife sharpener, and needed a whole counter to sharpen its knives. So Tim did everything in a very dramatic fashion, down to sharpening knives to cut a turkey.
It's really interesting that we now live in Uncle Tim and Grandma's old neighborhood on H Street.
When I was feeding him, I think it was applesauce or something, and I gave him his first bite, and all of a sudden he went, and it was kind of just like really, really funny because obviously I had not, killed him with the applesauce, but he was still cracking jokes, and it was fun. So I'll always miss him.
Even in his last days, he was in high spirits, and still had this sense of humor that he always carried.
During his last days, I spent mornings with him, and they're very special to me. He was just very peaceful, very funny to the end.
And then we skipped to the end, and that was another special time on a sadder note, but nonetheless very emotionally charged and just really nice to be with him at that time. He was shocked at the love around him and never felt he deserved it.
Lord, my body has been a good friend, but I won't need it when I reach the end.
Who is that, honey?
The paper boy. Who'd you expect, Vincent Price? You get it this time.
Yes, what is it?
Oh, hello, I'm Vincent Price.
Hambone, where you been? Hambone.
To call it rediscovering Tim, because Tim gave us a great endowment of his life. As we go forward through his albums, we found playbill after playbill after playbill. Well, this was quite an awakening for me, as I was his sister. And I was off living my life. Timothy was off having quite a successful acting career. Being the humble person that he was, he didn't present himself that way.
Papa's gonna buy you a streetcar line. Papa's gonna buy you a streetcar line. If that streetcar line get broke, if that streetcar line get broke, Papa's gonna buy you a billy goat. Papa's gonna buy you a billy goat. If that billy goat run away, if that billy goat run away, Papa's gonna buy you a stack of hay. Papa's gonna buy you a stack of hay. If that stack of hay burned down, if that stack of hay burned down, Papa's gonna buy you a wedding gown. Papa's gonna buy you a wedding gown. If that wedding gown gets tore, if that wedding gown gets tore, Papa's gonna kick you out the door. Papa's gonna kick you out the door. Hambone!
Quiet! We're trying to get some sleep.
Who is that, Martha?
Oh, you know that Revere fellow.
Oh, yeah, Paul. Good man. A little pushy, but, well, look, it's time I got up anyway. I'm heading over to historic Fairfax to see those new Comstock colonial townhouses.
Comstock?
Yeah, Pat Henry and Johnny Adams said they're really something. Best home value around. 3 big levels, lots of space everywhere, lots of trees.
Cherry trees.
Martha, you just can't let that alone, can you? I tell you, Martha, from what I hear, Comstock homes can't be beat for convenience, space, beauty, best of all for the value.
The British are coming!
Hey, Paul, can you run me over to Comstock?
No time now, George. I'm making history.
A good man, blood's thicker than the mud. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. Wild dog bang, wild dog bang. Oh, ain't nothing but a family. Nothing but a family affair. Ain't nothing but a family. Nothing but a family affair.
My brothers, Rip and Tim, and I were so far apart in age that we were really raised like only children. And so by the time Tim arrived here about 5 years ago, he had lived his full life and I had gone off to live mine and Rip his. So meeting Timothy was like meeting an old friend and starting a friendship over again.
I'm Rip Rice, and I'm going to talk to you about my kid brother Timmy. He came along when I was small. I was maybe 13 years old. What sticks out in my mind about him as a movie actor was when he did a Hollywood movie, the movie DC Cab, which was a stupid movie in my opinion, and it was kind of boring, but Timmy had a 1 or 2 minute scene towards the early part of it in which he was a drunk. It just stole the show. It just settled everybody down and stole the show.
He gave me a list of movies to check out, and one of them was DC Cab. So I rented it from the online or something, and I gathered a bunch of my friends in DC to watch it. We gathered around my TV. Not only was it great to see Uncle Tim in his cameo as a drunk person at the airport.
As it turned out, Tim and I became very, very good friends. I could even say by the time he left us we were best buds and had our daily phone call and checking in with each other.
Thought a lot of Timmy because, believe it or not, he was a musician. He played drums. I don't know if anybody knows that. Decided, well, by golly, I used to play drums. I'm going to get in one of these concert bands and play a concert with my brother and his son David. So he did that. He practiced and he did just wonderfully.
He really blew me away when he told me that he had decided to become an actor when he was 9 years old and came to Catholic U, saw me in a play, and decided that he wanted to be an actor. Did I become an actor? No. Did Timothy? He achieved his goal.
Final thing I want to say is Timmy was a golfer. I was a golfer. My son David was a golfer. My mother's father was a golfer as well, and he had a set of wooden shafted golf clubs. One day on my birthday, he gave me a reconditioned number 19 iron with a wooden shaft that my granddaddy had, and that was about as thoughtful as any brother could be.
He managed to bring to us a wonderful, wonderful time of love.
This I'm telling to Uncle Tim himself, because I don't think I ever told him the things that I actually wanted to tell him. You brought so much joy into our lives, and I miss you, and I wish that I could have said the things that I felt in my heart for you, Uncle Tim, because you brought us, and you brought us together and taught us how to say goodbye.
I'm grateful for him teaching me that it's important to talk about good times, and that we should always remember people for the things that make them who they are.
Love you, Uncle Tim. Think about you all the time.
Thank you, Uncle Tim. We love you.
Love you, Uncle Tim. I love you, Uncle Tim.
I see my light come shining from the west out to